Spending all my time just thinking about you. Late days and we just think about your love. And I don't care what they say about it. Don't you know? Don't you know? Run war, server war, battlefield kill event, Vikings, witches, even purple.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of EvonyBites. What we got going today is a look at my methodology for refining. Now, let me just start off with a disclaimer saying I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. I'm not necessarily arguing any point. I definitely welcome some counter arguments, some observations and calculations and comments and feedback. Because, look, I've never gone out there and done a big study on refining and how different people do it in different places. I've just, over the years, perfected the way to me that makes sense. That's the quickest way to get what I want in refining, and it's most definitely not the cheapest. So there's definitely going to be some arguments that I spend more than I could here. I've read some really good guides on refining. I don't remember them, to be honest. It's been a while since I read them. One of them was something like only go for a particular number. Maybe it's 20 or something like that. Never save anything but 20. And again, I haven't done the math, but it seems to me to sit around hitting refine for, 2 months waiting for 20 pluses only is pretty damn expensive. So I don't understand how that's different than any other way, really. I'll just say that it feels like refining is very expensive to me. But that method that I just tried to really horribly repeat from my memory did sound like a great one to me at the time I read it, and I really wanted to do it. I just never did figure out a good refining process. And over time, like I said, I just kind of landed with this one. Well, I have a ground general that I have done nothing to, and I have the ability to go in and make a piece of OC gear for my ground general, so I wanted to go ahead and make a video and do that. And I'll just show how I initially pop on refines and what I just initially do to get them going. This is just a beginning of a long process to get them perfected. I'll show you some that are further along in that process, so where I get them after I get them, where I'm going to show you right here. But in any case, you're going to see the process by which I use always to up my refines. And maybe I'll go try it on one of my higher ones too before the video's over, and we can see how I go in and just slowly up them. But here's how I get my standard refining going. I'm going to go in here to craft and go to armor. And I want fearless because it gives me the ground attributes. Okay. Hitting quick compose down here at the bottom, by the way, for those who don't know, quick compose being lit up green means I do have the materials. I just don't have them composed. And Evony creates us a little courtesy here and lets us just hit quick compose, which in this case is only one red leather up here. But if you have a bunch that need done, this is very convenient. So you can just hit it. It'll do it for you. Then you can begin, which I did not put the book on and make that faster. You should do that. Disclaimer. I don't care. All right, we'll finish that off. So we have the OC piece. We claim it here. Let's go into the general. Get a look at the meat. Frigg is who we're using in this case. Go ahead and stick that armor out. Now I'm just going to go through my natural process that anytime I add a piece of armor that I care about, or piece of armor particularly, that's going to be at least a semi-long-term piece of armor for me, if not a long-term piece of armor for me, and which is the only piece of armor I care about, frankly. These are the things that I do. So first off, I want to go in and upgrade to star. You see that these ground troop defense, ground troop HP, enemy mounted troops defense, and in-city range troop attack are at a certain percentage, 17, 17, negative 20, and 10. Well, with each star you add on, if you didn't know this, it increases those. So obviously we want those to go on up to 5. Now you can see we set it 22, 22, negative 35, and 20. Not all of those are usable. You're going to find this to be the case always with gear. For the most part, is a lot of the stuff that's on it is not usable. That's okay. We're focusing on the stuff that is usable. All right, so we've gone into refining here. This is the part that we're after in this video. What do I initially do when I go put my refining on? Well, I'm after a preferably around 16%, which that one is right there. Siege machine defense, 15.5%. I'll go ahead and take that. But what I target myself, just initially, this is not going to get you there in elite or top playing or long-term play, but initially get yourself something you can work with that's worth just walking off in that piece of gear. I like to have about 16%. I'll take 15.5. So on my first spin, I got that 15.5% to siege. Siege is an aspect I'm not after, but 15.5 is a ninth percentile. But since there's nothing I want here, I can hit confirm or cancel and keep going because I'm after ground. And really, I'm only looking for purple or above. Okay, no, man. You know, gets my attention when it's orange. Okay, hey, no, it's a static number. This ground troop defense, 1,000 right there, to me is always useless. Some people use T1 ground. I don't agree with it mechanically. Maybe that's for another video. T1 don't work just because you have a lot of T1. T1 cav work because of the nature of cav. It's very specific to them. So I have never have a use for a static number on something else, but anyways, just to point that out. So I'm not getting anything worthy to keep for ground here, so I just keep plugging on. Usually you'll see something pop up you would absolutely love to have on a piece of gear that's not the one you're working on. Tends to do that. Nope. Now, when I'm first going through these right here, you can hit cancel, you can hit confirm, whatever. Like I said, I hit confirm initially when I'm just hunting my first one in case I just happen to tap past one. Okay, now see, this is asking me, you sure you want to pass? Because it gave me a pretty high gold, 22. But of course I want to pass because it's load. It's useless to me on this piece of gear. Essentially everything I'm getting is, I want that 16% mark on ground. Man, that's a decently high static number there on ground. I don't want it, but instead what I'm going to do right now, since that's a nice little, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing on there, is I'll hit cancel when I don't want something, and I'll just keep that ground 1100 on there. Even though it's not ideal, I'm positioning myself the best I can, so if I have to walk off or walk away or something, or stop at any point or run out of stuff, then I'm leaving myself with something. All right, now I'm going to hit confirm on this one because I got 17.1% on ground troop defense. That's a base number that I'm after right there. It's above my 16% mark. So this is where some people will hate me, but follow me. To me, this is where I lock that one. Now, it's going to cost 2,000 gems to do that in addition to the gold at this point, so you need to pay attention to whether this is something that's viable for you or not. But to me, to get all 4 of these on something ground that is it's decent and pretty usable for me today is just double the benefit of making the gear piece itself. So I'm not at 100% adding that piece of gear to myself today. I'm at 200% adding that gear to myself today, if that makes sense. That's not at all math, but figure of speech saying I'm doubling up what I'm getting out of the gear piece that I worked so hard for just by coming in here and pumping these refines on it at a minimum of 16. So I'm going to do it. So now what am I hunting again? I'm hunting another one. I want ground troop that's at least at 16. Now, is there a limit to this? Yeah, because I'm not going to sit here and just run out of gems trying to get 16s. But I want to do the best I can. Now, if a 15 comes along, will I take it? Probably, yeah, because I'm just trying to get them on there, remember. Just trying to initially start myself out. This is a little expensive sometimes to do this. Sometimes it's pretty easy. I would have already had it sometimes. Here, I'm going to put, don't show me that again. Don't care about this gold subsidy stuff. Ooh, ground troop load 22. Isn't that some ish? Ooh, ground troop defense 15. I'm going to take it, see? Now, it has increased me to 4,000 gems every time. So you've got to pay attention here to whether that works for you. Ground troop defense 14.9. I'm going to go ahead and take it because it's right there in my window for the sake of keeping this video short too. Here we go. Let's keep going. What I'm doing is targeting now that 4th ground troop aspect at the cost of 6,000 gems per pop. So, again, pay attention to your means. And if you can do this is just my method. All right, let's keep honing in on that ground. This is a surefire way to do this, guys. A lot of things can be argued or discussed or talked about, but I'm telling you, this gets me there, and I'll show you in just a second on another general. I'm further down this process. Can you get there cheaper? Probably. I would love to learn that. If someone has a straight up method to that, please drop it. Let me know. Until then, I'm going to keep doing this. Alright, so this one's breaking me pretty bad. It's bending me over without lube. So I'll do it a couple more times here, and then I'll show you kind of what I might do to compromise for a moment, so I'm not just sitting here dropping on one that's not being very friendly. It's really not wanting to give me that fourth one. So I'll cheat and I'll lower my standards. Let's see if we can end up with a anything, really. There we go. We'll take it. Ground troop defense. I'll go ahead and stop there, 5.9%, because now I've added 17.1% plus 15% plus 14.9% plus 5.9%. And you might say, well, man, that was a lot of money to end up with 5.9. I know, but it was a lot of money in invest to get to the ability to build an AUK piece, and to make the AUK piece, to put 5 stars on it, to put on my third attacking general that I'm building, and then also put pretty decent refines on it, all in 10 minutes, right? So you got to draw a line somewhere. I'm trying to just get the most I can out of it with the little amount of cost in the moment, and that's the way that I do it. I sit there and find my first stat. Hopefully sometimes you get lucky, you hit 2, or if you're really lucky, 3 at once. Lock them in. Sometimes it's a whole lot easier. I would call this median difficult that it just now was for me. But now we go out and look at this gear piece on, right, and it's usable, right, close to right now. No, I must not have kept that, because I didn't hit confirm. Okay, there we go. So, now, I don't know what it cost me. You can do the math if you want, but we've added a gear piece on. I've got my refines up to around 15 plus initially, just like that. Now, when I come back in and begin to work them again, I'll start with that ground troop defense 5.9%, and I'll try to get it back up to 16. And then from 16, I might try to go to 18, and then I might try to go to 20. And an example of that is coming over here to Godfrey. And where I am now on these Parthian pieces, you can see I put them on, and then I shot for my minimal numbers, this is a defense general in my case, so mounted troop flats I'm all right with. So you can see I have one there. Everything else is around that 16 plus mark on something I'm interested in. That's on the Parthian gears, just to get them in there and get them rocking. You can see I've actually got a couple pretty decent ones on that, but it's just to get them placed and get them usable. Now these Civ gear pieces right here, I've actually come in and tried to work these higher, you see. So my mounted troop, that static number 1,000, that's my minimum on that one. I haven't touched that one yet, but I got that siege machine attack up to 23, 23, and 29. So these being final gears I'll keep in here, I'll come back and work them up too. And on this, so if I were going to come work this next, and let's look at my lowest one. So on boots right here, since I have it going and I'm trying to get everything higher, I'd come in here and pick my lowest number. Let me get that out of the way. So I would lock in this 19, lock in this 22, and lock in this 22, and I would try to get the 16 to go higher. So I always come back in once in a while when I have a little reserve of gems or gold, or I want to refine. I'll come back in and I'll pick my lowest stat in that gear piece, and I'll try to bring it up to par. And then my next lowest one, bring it up to par. So I might come in here and go, all right, I'm okay to spend 40,000 gems. Let me hit it 4 or 5 times and just see if I can get that 16 up. You can go ahead and try. Cancel. We did not get anything better. Cancel. 3. Cancel. 4. Cancel. 5. Cancel. I did not get anything better, so I'll just walk away from that. It cost me 40,000 gems, but that's okay. I lost nothing, didn't gain anything. It's the cost of refining. If I wanted to come back in here and do this and kind of go, all right, I need to get my bow up a little bit, which I've got it pretty high, I would probably go for those siege machine attack 23. So I would lock this one, lock this one and lock this one, and I would try to get that 23 up. Now, I'm not going to mess with this bow right now. I've got that one up where I'm pretty happy for a few months. Make me sick to touch it anymore. These I'll have to come in and touch, 17, 17, 18, so I'll come in here and move those a little bit more. But now you can see from the gear piece that I just placed on for the video, popping it in there around 15, 16 plus, and giving up because I just spent too much on that 5.9, and then slowly coming back in and working those up over time. Looking in here at Gunther, you can see I come in at the same thing. You can see I gave up right there on that 6.4, but I was trying to work those up in a procession there. You see similar results to here where I kind of gave up on these. But I try to get them come in there around that 16 mark, or at least close, to get the gear piece going by locking in each one as you get it and continuing forward. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me. That was my little sloppy process, but never fails me. I end up with good refines. I end up working my way up. At least it's methodology. Sometimes the most difficult thing is even knowing how to proceed with refining. Who cares if it even costs a lot? Sometimes it costs you a boatload to sit there and fumble around with it. Well, I'm just going to tell you, refining costs a lot. So have a methodology. I just provided one to you. It's a methodology of selection based on a base number. You can pick that yourself, whether it be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. Pick a base number. When you get one of your refines to hit it, lock it in and keep going. Once you get the 4 locked in that you want, raise your standards, come back in, start with your lowest, and begin to work it up again by unlocking one at a time. Good luck, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. This is Cap. We all know EvonyBites. I'm out.
Credit card taker, open that hoarded chest and get that key right, baby. It's never enough. At night I dream this game and